You jumped out there during the beef, the West Coast versus the Canadian.
From allies to enemies, 50 Cent and Rick Ross's relationship has taken a wild turn. Remember when these two were just up-and-coming rappers with dreams? Now they're multi-millionaire moguls throwing shade like it's confetti. How did a simple podcast appearance turn into World War III of the rap game? Buckle up, cause this ride's about to get bumpy. So 50 Cent, looking all smug, sitting on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. He's there, running his mouth like he always does, throwing some major shade at Rick Ross. Now, 50's no stranger to starting drama, but this time, he really stirred the pot. So what did he say that got everyone talking? Well, he basically claimed that Rick Ross is desperate for attention. Ouch, right? But wait, it gets better.
Nothing else works for him outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me. It gets covered further.
Now, Ross isn't the type to just sit back and take that kind of talk. Nah, he came back swinging, and boy, did he have some things to say. Now, to really understand why Ross is so fired up, we need to take a little trip down memory lane. Remember that epic beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar? It was like the rap battle of the century, with the whole industry taking sides. It was West Coast versus Canada, old school versus new school, and everyone had an opinion. But here's where it gets interesting. While all this was going down, guess who was spotted cozying up to Drake? Yep, you guessed it, 50 Cent himself. And this is what's really got Ross scratching his head and calling foul.
Right here.
Ross is super confused by all this, and honestly, he's got a point. Dr. Dre is like the godfather of West Coast rap, and he played a huge role in 50's career. So for 50 to side with Drake, a Canadian artist, over supporting his West Coast roots, that's what Ross is calling shady, with a capital S. Now, Ross is really digging into this loyalty thing, and he's not pulling any punches. He's basically painting 50 Cent as this guy who just goes wherever the wind blows. One minute, he's all about Dr. Dre and the West Coast. The next, he's buddying up with Drake like they're long-lost brothers.
I thought Dr. Dre put you on. I thought Dr. Dre was the set. I thought you was loyal to Dr. Dre. You mean you went with the Canadian over Dr. Dre?
But here's the real tea. Ross points out something pretty interesting. He noticed that as soon as Drake started taking some L's in the beef, suddenly 50 Cent went quiet.
But you did shut the up once the Canadian took the L. You got totally quiet.
Of course, this wouldn't be a proper rap beef without some social media drama. Ross took to Instagram to air out his feelings. He's throwing shade left and right, even taking shots at Jilly from the podcast. Get this, Ross commented, Cuban link, with a broken heart emoji on a post about 50. Now, for those who aren't up on their rapper relationship gossip, Cuban link is 50's ex-girlfriend, and recently she was spotted hanging out with none other than Travis Scott. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Ross is really out here trying to get under 50's skin any way he can. Now, this beef between Ross and 50 isn't new. These guys have been going at it for years. But this latest round, it's got a different flavor. Ross is really questioning 50's loyalty. He's calling him out for playing both sides, for using people when it's convenient. It's not just about the music anymore, it's about integrity in the game. So, what's gonna happen next? Will 50 Cent clap back? Will Dr. Dre weigh in on this loyalty drama? And where does Drake fit into all this? One thing's for sure, this beef is far from over. These two have been at each other's throats for years, and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon.